Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. As you can see from the setup, we're in a kind of podcast setup. So if you want to listen to this video as a podcast and carry on doing things around the house or whatever it is that you're doing, then feel free. Other than that, I'm going to be talking directly towards the camera, no fancy editing, just straight up, no BS advice on life, how to become the best version of yourself. I'm directing this video towards women because the majority of my audience are women. Is not to say that if you are a guy and you're watching this, then maybe you can take something from it. But again, girls, you have supported my channel. You've come here, you've come back time and time again, and I'm hugely grateful for that. And since I am a woman, I'm directing this towards my fellow women out there. Now, I have to say this because it wouldn't be honest of me to not say it. If you are easily offended, then maybe this video is not for you, because I'm not cutting things and making things like soft around the edges. I think in life we owe it to each other, to ourselves, to be as honest as we can be. And unfortunately, in the world that we're living in, people are shying away from honesty and shying away from saying it as it is. And I feel that we are missing that, and I'm here to just give you the honest advice. There are so many amazing people out there who will give you a different style of message that could be for you, but this is not one of those videos. Secondly, I'm going to say things in this video where I've written notes that I'm going to refer to where I myself have made mistakes. I myself have done the things that I'll tell you not to do on this video. And the reason why I can sit here so confidently and tell you these things is because I've lived through my own mistakes, my own life lessons. And that's why I can sit here so confidently and say, I'm not sitting here saying, I'm an angel, I'm perfect, I've never done any of these things. I've done these things, and that's why I'm here as hopefully like your older sister to give you the advice that maybe somebody else has not given you. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Sarah. I'm from the UK originally. I spent 7 years in Dubai, then 3 years in Australia, and now I live in Thailand. I run my own e-commerce business, and I upload videos on a weekly basis on routines, habits, productivity, becoming better, running your own business, finding your passion, like all that kind of good stuff. So if that's something of interest to you, then consider subscribing, and let's get into today's video. Now, the title of this video is going to be something like becoming the best version of yourself to attract the life that you want. And within that life of you want, it can be anything. It can be anything you desire. It can be the man that you want, the type of lifestyle that you want to achieve, the type of business you want to achieve, the job that you want to achieve, whatever it is. And in order to achieve those things, we have to become a certain standard of ourselves, right? Now, for those of you who are like, who is this girl telling me these things? Well, I am not perfect, like I've said. Absolutely not. But I have achieved what I've wanted in life so far. I've achieved the relationship that I want, the kind of person that I want in my life. I live the lifestyle that I want to live, in terms of I live in Thailand, I work for myself, I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. I'm having like the habits in life that I've strived to have and to achieve. I have a successful business. I'm connecting with people, like-minded people like you around the world. And I am eternally grateful. And I've had my fair share of BS in my life that I've overcome. I've gotten through, I've made mistakes, and that's why I feel like I can sit here and give you the advice. So I'm going to go through some tips from, again, my own life experience. I've traveled the world. I've tried jobs, quit jobs, started businesses, quit businesses. I've done a lot of stuff, got my heart broken so many times, been cheated on, been bullied. All these little things have made me who I am, and I am extremely grateful for that. One of the most common questions I get on Instagram from friends is how to get the relationship that you want. And not that I'm going to give you this in a nutshell, but it definitely starts with you and becoming what you want to attract, because I hear time and time again, and I might get in trouble for saying this and comments might come at me, and that's okay, because with honesty comes those things. But as I said, I used to live in Dubai for 7 years, and whilst I lived in Dubai, there were so many. I look now at some of the girls who still live there, and they want men, they want good men, but they don't show up in the world as good, in my eyes, good women. They want men who don't go clubbing. They want men who are going to stay at home and be with them and have quality time together and be taken on dates and be taken seriously and all that kind of stuff. But they don't want to show up as the person who deserves that, in my eyes. I don't think And again, I will get in trouble for saying this. People won't like it, but I don't think girls who are going to the club every weekend or twice a week, 3 times a week, deserve a man who is working hard, grinding, showing up for his family, willing to show up for a woman, willing to help a woman to become her best version of herself. If she's in the club every single weekend getting completely drunk with men and women of certain standards, that for me, you don't deserve an amazing guy. And I was that girl. When I was 21, when I first moved to Dubai, I thought it was amazing. I was like, this life, like I can go to clubs, not pay for drinks, get treated really well, have this like luxurious lifestyle, be popping bottles in the club with guys who I don't know. I thought it was cool. And I did those things. So I feel like I can sit here and almost criticize myself, because I used to go home after nights out and like sit with my girlfriends and be like, why can't we find good guys? Like, oh yeah, but he's always out clubbing, or he's always on tables with girls. Hello? What were you doing last night? You were on tables with guys drinking there. I don't know who was paying for this alcohol, honestly, but we drank for free for how many years we were living in Dubai and partying. So if I want to attract a certain person in my life, I have to become that person first. What makes me think I deserve a guy who is going to, again, support me, be emotionally available, be a family man, be all these things when I am out drinking half naked in clubs with random guys? Like, in which world, right? And that's the problem. I do feel that a lot of women want this, but are not prepared to meet the man. What do you bring to the table? What did I bring to the table as a 21-year-old girl? And again, if you want to go drink, I wouldn't recommend it. I used to say like, it's okay. But if you look at the Western world, I don't think it is okay to say that that's okay, because I'm thinking if I'm going to bring children up into this world, it's okay to go and have fun as long as you're safe. But I do think to encourage that kind of behavior, questionable. So again, check yourself first. I didn't used to check myself. I used to think it was fine for me to go and drink with random guys on tables in Dubai. And I'm not saying like every girl is doing this. Of course not. And when I speak about men, and when I speak about women, and when I speak about general things, I'm not speaking for every single human on this planet. Of course there are exceptions. Of course there's an exception to the rule. But I'm speaking in general. Okay, just let's get that clear. Being the person that you want to attract. So if I want to attract a man who can communicate well, who's emotionally available, who's financially stable, who is all of these things, I first have to become those things, or at least have to bring a good percentage to the table. You can't expect to sit at a table with a guy. You offer just being attractive. And unfortunately, I think women are being tricked into thinking that being physically attractive is enough. Is enough. Just because you show up and you look nice, that's enough. And unfortunately, that is something that has gone on in Dubai for a long time that I saw when I was there. I used to be part of the problem. So I understand that that's true. So I think it's working on yourself. How you speak. This is my first, actually, we've just got to the first tip. Okay, my camera broke and just fell on the floor in 2 pieces. So we're back with a new camera and we're going again. So the first tip was speaking and using your voice, because our voice is one of the most, in my eyes, one of the most powerful tools that we have. And if we don't use that correctly, we lose out on a lot of opportunities. And learning to use your voice and your communication skills properly is a skill that is so underrated, and I feel like they should teach this in school. If you didn't learn this as a child, I didn't learn this as a child because I was very shy, I was bullied, I had no confidence as a child, so I had to learn this later on in life, and that's okay, because one of the easiest ways you can learn to use your voice more confidently. Think about your voice. You can go to interviews, and the way you could have the best knowledge for that job. You could be the best candidate for that job. But if you can't portray the message that you want to get across to the employer, then you don't have match. And I think it's the way you communicate in day-to-day life. If you can hold a conversation with pretty much anybody and switch between communicating with that type of person to this person, it's just such a skill. And Emirates give me this skill for sure. Like, it definitely heightened this skill for me and give me more confidence with speaking to people. Customer service, people often talk down to themselves when they come from customer service and hospitality. But honestly, if you come from customer service or you work in customer service, you are utilizing this skill, being able to communicate and speak to different kind of characters, people with money, people without, whatever it is, all kind of calibers of people, is a skill that you're strengthening, and that's very, very powerful. So being able to communicate is a way that you can upgrade yourself. If you're able to go into meetings and business meetings, for example, and be able to show up in a confident, clear, concise way, then that is incredibly powerful, and that will help you through your life. One easy way that you can think about it. There's so many people that I've met in life that can be the most intelligent, well-educated, well-rounded person in general, like very good person, but they can't hold the room. They can't hold a conversation. They can't keep my attention. And those things will lose you opportunities. And of course, not everybody has to be master of communication. But I think if you want to become better, this is a skill that you should work on. And one easy way you can do this is by reading out loud. This is something you can do in your own time. It's free. And when I want to work on, and again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I don't speak in a perfect way, but I know that I can communicate pretty well. And I can communicate to all sorts of people pretty well. And just reading a self-development book, literally reading a couple of pages and hearing your sound of your own voice helps. And even recording yourself on your phone. Sometimes call me crazy, but I used to go into my voice notes on my phone and record myself reading. Because that's the only way. And of course, I record YouTube videos, so I can hear myself quite a lot. But if you're not on YouTube, then when do you ever get a chance to listen to your voice back? And I know we always hate the sound of our own voice, but there's work that needs to be done on that. And people are like, why do I need this? Well, it's not just about the way you speak, but it's the way you converse. And reading is definitely going to help you with your intellect, your self-development, your mindset, your everything. But when you go on a date, for example, when you go on a date, if you want to attract a high caliber man, if you want to attract a high quality man for long term, we're not talking about for fun when you're single and you just want to have fun. We're not talking about that kind of date. But if you're genuinely somebody who wants to find somebody that you want to take you seriously, then going on a date with someone and sitting at a table, you have to bring your game. It's so much pressure on the guys, I feel like, in dating, but women need to also bring their game and not just show up as a pretty face, but actually have a conversation and converse in intellectual conversations that are going to entertain the other person. Being able to communicate in a conversation well is very, very attractive trait to have. I often see women who can communicate well in a group or one-on-one with another person, and I'm like, wow, that's attractive, because it's a skill that not many people want to work on. A high quality man, and again, I'm going to get some stick for this, but it's okay because it's honest. I know, because I've spoken to people. I have good friends, good quality men that I know in my life, and they demand a certain level of expectation when they go on a date with a woman that they potentially looking to marry down the line, right? When you get to a certain age, you're no longer, for a lot of people, looking for fun. You're looking for somebody to potentially be your wife or your husband. So when they go on dates, they're looking for somebody to have a genuine conversation with on an intellectual level, and something interesting like politics. I know they say you should avoid these things, but honestly, if I was single, that's one of the first things I would be bringing up, to understand where someone's sitting. And I'm not encouraging that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. And being able to have conversations on interesting topics like spirituality, books, should be able to have high quality conversations. You should want that for yourself. If you want to find your husband, you want to be at home with that person in the future, having good conversations where you can really connect on an emotional, even spiritual level, speak about very important topics that are untouched a lot in today's world, and get to know each other on a deeper level. Debate with people, debate with your friends, debate with people who are more intelligent than you or are more well-versed on a certain topic than you. It's important to, one, put yourself out of your comfort zone in order to learn. I think debating is one of the best things. I grew up, my dad's side of the family has always debated around the table. When I was younger, even as a child, at my auntie's house, we would all sit around a table after dinner and we would sit there for hours. And as a child, I don't know why, but I always found it interesting. I never wanted to leave the table. And even if I couldn't personally participate as a child, I would often hear these debates. And I think that's important in a household. If you've got children, I think that's very important, to sit and talk about things that matter and to disagree with each other and argue your point. Not in an aggressive way, but I just think it's important to call each other out and to be asked to prove your point. And that's why I'm very confident now to sit with people around a dinner table. Yes, listen. Yes, learn new things, but also to have the confidence to speak up if I don't believe in something, if I don't agree with something, why I don't believe in it. That builds confidence, and that is, again, a very powerful tool to have. This will help you, even from a child. It would help you in school with debate. I actually won a debate. I think it was on bullying. I don't even remember what was the topic. And the ironic thing, I was being bullied, but I actually won a debate on bullying, probably because I was passionate about it, but also because I had these skills growing unintentionally by being around people who are debating, my family. So now I can sit and have those conversations and have open debates with people. Something that, again, I feel like society is missing, being able to question things, being able to have conversations that you don't necessarily agree with, but you can, sorry, there's like a fly flying around, that you can disagree with, and you will learn through listening to people and like hearing people's perspectives and why they think like that. And it's just a learning process, and it's only going to expand your mind, bring on more confidence, because someone's going to call you out. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to have to prove why you've said what you've said. And I think that is wonderful. Think of in life, you can go into business meetings and be able to debate about certain topics, or you can sit with your schoolmates and debate, or you can sit with a potential partner and debate about things. It's what makes life interesting. And I think, again, it's a very good skill to have. If you have not grown naturally like I did in that kind of environment where debates were quite normal at home, then you can go onto YouTube. This is something I often do, is go onto YouTube. There are so many amazing podcasts on this where you can learn about even topics that I disagree with, even things that I really sit on the opposite side of the fence with. I'll go in and listen to a debate because I will learn something, even if I disagree with it. I think it's good to learn about the other side of the argument, learn about things you disagree with, because again, it expands your mind. Conversing without your emotions taking control. And again, this comes down to communication. This will help you in life. This will help you on dates. This will help you in your work, business, day-to-day life, on the train, solving a problem. Like, these things are all going to help you. Be by yourself. I moved out when I was 17 years old, which I know is extremely young, and that was the best thing that happened to me. I learned to be by myself. Then when I moved to Dubai, I dated this guy, then I moved on to this guy, then I moved on to this guy, and I didn't know how to be alone. And if I had a daughter now who was a teenager, perhaps I would try to teach her that being alone is extremely empowering, and that's when you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about yourself in relationships, but you also learn more about yourself by being by yourself after said relationship. So don't jump from relationship to relationship. You're just going to damage yourself even further. So the best thing I would say, especially when it comes to relationships, is just be by yourself. Read, take yourself on dates, go for dinner by yourself. When I was cabin crew, I used to go for dinner by myself in a random city. At first, it's super weird. You feel awkward. You feel like everybody's looking at you. But at the end of the day, they don't care. And it's really liberating when you go by yourself and you're sitting there and you just have yourself to answer for. And I think that's very, very powerful. Living by yourself is also, can be very daunting initially, but is the best thing ever. And if you learn to be by yourself, you'll never depend on another person to bring you happiness, to bring you any of the things that you should have already in yourself before you take on a life partner. And I'm not saying you have to be completely whole from start to finish, 100% before you find somebody, but I think definitely having a good ground of being comfortable by yourself, confident by yourself, don't need a relationship, then that's far healthier. Have 3 mentors to look up to. Now, this could be online, in your community, someone you know. If you're a female, don't just choose female mentors. I would say, and again, might get some hate for this, but I would say the best advice that I've ever received has been from males because unfortunately, women tend generally, not saying everyone, tend to act more with emotion. Men are more logic and like, let's get out of this situation by doing this. And sometimes you may be in a situation like I was in Dubai where again, I wasn't the best version of myself and I didn't deserve a good man whatsoever. But I was also with women who were stirring the same pot as I was, saying, oh, but we just want guys who, you know, treat us like royalty, but we just want to be able to go at clubs till 3 o'clock in the morning drinking with random guys. That is not okay. And if you're stirring the pot with those women, then you're not going to learn anything. Wake up early, prioritize yourself. I've said this time and time again in videos. You would have heard this time and time again in podcasts or YouTube videos. Waking up early gives you the chance to prioritize yourself before the rest of the world, before your emails, before social media, before your children, before whatever it is. And I know I don't have children, so I can't speak for people who do have children. I will learn in my own time how that situation will look. However, I do have friends who do have children and they manage still to prioritize their mental health first. And by waking up early, you give yourself the chance to do that. I have a million videos on waking up early, so I'll link everything down below. I won't go into that too much now, but wake up early to not only take time for, I don't know, reading, meditating, journaling, as I've mentioned many times in my videos, but also taking care of yourself, which leads me on to my next point, is physical appearance. I have often fallen off track, and again, people will disagree with me saying like, women don't have to wear makeup, women don't have to do this. No, you don't have to. But I know for sure that when I do those things, when I take care of my skincare, my hair care, and again, look at me today. Okay, I have makeup on, but I've scraped my hair back in a bun. But it's better than just having like scraggly, non-brushed taking care of hair. And it's just taking 10 minutes in the morning to prioritize yourself and your appearance, get dressed, and don't just slog around in baggy t-shirts or comfy clothes all of the time. Yes, we all have to come home, take our makeup off, put our hair up and put comfy clothes on. I'm not saying that. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're passing a car or you're passing a mirror in the day and you look at yourself and you look presentable. Again, people will say, oh, presentable is subjective. Yes, it is. But for me, at least having skincare, a little bit of lipstick, hair scraped back, if that's what you can do, then do it, because you will show up as a better person. If I slog around with I haven't taken care of my skin, I haven't taken care of my hair, whatever it is, baggy clothes, I show up differently. If I was sat here now with no makeup on, and again, I can do it. But I would come across a lot differently to when I would sit here when I feel like I look my best self, which can be definitely criticized because they will say, a lot of people will say you should be comfortable no matter what. But I do think you show up differently. And you can agree to disagree with me on that. But I think I show up differently in the world when I know that I'm not saying I look amazing, but I think I look a bit more presentable. Be honest. Being honest is, again, sounds really simple, but when you're honest, you're going to attract like-minded people. I faked a lot of my opinions, my core beliefs in Dubai. And again, I used to always blame it on Dubai, but it was myself. I was not saying things, holding things back when I actually thought, God, in this situation, this is completely wrong. What you're saying is completely BS. But instead of calling somebody out, I was too afraid. I would just sit there and like quietly agree. I think what's important, especially now with what's going on with the world now and society, speaking up for what you believe in, even if it's just with your friends, that's going to dictate who you have in your life. If you're just playing this pretense of whatever you believe in, then you're going to have people who are either doing the same or they genuinely believe in the pretense that you're saying you believe in. So I think being honest is a very simple thing to say, but it dictates a lot in your life. It dictates your relationships. It dictates your work. If you're not honest in work, it dictates your friendships. It dictates a lot of things. So being honest, having the confidence to stand up for what you believe in and what you want, because I know when I was in my early 20s dating guys, I would enter relationships and be like, oh no, I'm not like in a rush for children. I wasn't in a rush for children, but I'd like laugh off children, but I wanted children. Why should I be shy to say that? And now, like, of course I have my partner, I'm very grateful for that, but if I was to date now, I honestly think the right guy would sit there. Somebody who wasn't ready for a serious relationship or wasn't right for me would definitely run away, because I would straight away be straight up with what I want, what I expect, what I want my life to look like with a partner in it or without, and being honest. Because if you're not honest with yourself, if you're not honest with the potential partner that you're on a date with, then you're wasting your own time. Respect yourself. I don't want to go on and on because this video will become extremely, extremely long, but respect yourself. If you're texting a guy, he's not responding, this is very basic, but I've done it. If you're texting a guy, he's not responding, and this communication is kind of just like you're chasing, he's not responding, give it up. Literally give it up, because I've done it, and trust me, you will never marry one of those guys. If they want to make time for you, they will make time for you. If they want to reply to you and have a conversation, give you a call, they'll do it. A proper man, for me, a proper man who's ready to take action to find a lifetime partner will, without a doubt, communicate in the right way with you. For me, for example, if somebody's late, this for me already ticks me off. Being late is something that I can forgive once, but I'll judge you for it. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't judge. People judge all of the time, whether we like it or not. Subconsciously, we're judging. And for me, if somebody is constantly late, if one of my friends, for example, is constantly late, that means that person does not value my time. They don't respect my time. They don't value it. And they simply don't care. And once you can forgive, right? Twice you can forgive, maybe, if you're patient. I'm not. And if that keeps happening, you're again going against yourself. You're going against your own self-respect. So having high standards, if you have friends who are not showing up on time, I simply would just either tell them or don't agree to meet with them again. And I would respect a friend who, first of all, I'm never late. Never late. I probably can recall on my hand how many times I've ever been late in my life. And secondly, I would respect my friend if they told me that, hey, Sarah, listen, I want to hang out with you. We have good conversation, but you're always late and I value my time and I would expect you to do the same. So I'd have no issue with somebody telling me that, because yeah, you're right. You should value your own time. I should value my own time. Hang out with high quality people. This means somebody who has good morals, of course, good core beliefs, believes in working towards goals and living a decent life, but also can hold you accountable and can call you out on your nonsense, because we all have nonsense. I have so many faults that I need to work on. And one thing I appreciated about my friend Larissa, who recently came to stay over, was we had a couple of margaritas. We were sitting on the balcony and she said to me, okay, let's play a game. And I was like, okay. She said, let's tell each other 3 qualities that we think are strong qualities in each other and 3 weak points about each other. And you know how much I appreciate that in a friend, for someone to just openly say, I'm going to tell you 3 things that I think are your weaknesses. That's quality. That's quality friendship. I don't encourage bad behavior with friends. I don't respect, when I look back through my 20s, we were all young, we all made mistakes, but I think to a certain degree, your friends should call you out, your friends should tell you the truth, your friends should say, listen, enough is enough, you're doing this, you're doing that, and they should call you out on things, because that's what true friends are for. And if you want friends for life, and if you want high quality people in your life, you need people to call you out, and you need to be okay with that. And finding good quality people. If you want to open a business in e-commerce, surround yourself with people who are already doing the thing that you want to do. That way you'll learn. And I know some people have this ego issue where they like to be the big fish in a small pond. I know so many people. I've known so many people like that, and they get intimidated by people who know more, and they don't want to know. Their defense wall goes up and they don't want to know. And that's an ego thing. But if you really want to upgrade yourself, if you really want to become better, surround yourself with good people who are doing the thing that you want to do, who have the things that you want to have. Like when I was in Dubai, I was surrounding myself with women who were miserable and unhappy, single, couldn't find guys. And I was surrounded by that. So I became that because we were just encouraging each other. And that's all we would talk about. And again, we can go into law of attraction and manifestation and energies and all the frequencies and all that kind of stuff. Just surrounding yourself with that, you will only get that. You become it and you'll only get it, right? You can't see my hand. I'm like really hitting the sofa here, but you can't actually see what I'm doing with my hands. You can tell I'm marrying an Italian guy. Surround yourself with, instead of surrounding myself with women who couldn't find men, who hated men. This is another thing. Hating men, who all men are cheaters, all men are this, all men are that. of course, that's all you're going to get. Instead, what I should have done is surrounded myself with women who were happily in relationships, successful relationships, healthy relationships, or single women who didn't need to hate on men, didn't need to be always with men or looking for men or trying to impress men because they were comfortable in their own skin. And that's enough for today. I can do part 2 of this. I could go on and on and on and on and on. And again, I know my words can sometimes come across harsh, but I think that comes with being honest, and we can tiptoe around lots of things in life, but I think for me to give you the best advice, it has to come across in this way. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video, podcast, whatever you want to call it. So thank you for joining. If you made it to the end, then well done. And let me know what other kind of content you want to see. I can make a part 2 of this. I can go on and on about becoming better. And again, I am still trying to become better. I am still trying to improve myself. I am really trying to learn every day. It's the 1% that we do every day that will eventually lead us to where our life is going to be, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.